think that maybe there's some unique things you can do with dropping down your turret far enough in front of you that you don't get hit by an empowered shock blast.
In theory, the way that I see this going, is Knight can poke out the Heimerdinger turrets. It's on Flandra to not stack them so that the accelerated shock blast doesn't actually get all of them. But it should be hard for Knight to go all in. It's going to be on this Jace to kind of whittle away at his opponent and then go for a single fight where he just hammer stances, flies in, and kills the Heimerdinger.
Yeah, it's a large amount of damage as we've seen many Jaces come through. The players are probably more content to play that because, well, you don't really get to play it that often when it comes to the actual games. That thing is banned most of the time. So we'll see what he's able to do here if Flandra runs himself out of mana and maybe gives Knight an opportunity somewhere.
Okay. It's going to be quite boring, everybody. Go ahead and, if you want, keep your headset on, walk around your house, get some water. I've already got the water jug in hand. So
I got 3 bottles myself.
Bro, you don't have a chug jug?
I do not have a chug jug. Unfortunately, I went to go pick it up and then I got knocked, and I've been afraid of chug jugs ever since. I can't remember the last time I played Fortnite.
Okay, like, is it is it like the plastic bottles or like what's going on? Like,
these are plastic bottles.
Bruh. Not good for the environment, Yanni.
No, not very good for the environment at all. You know what? Honestly, I do deserve to be slandered for that. I will accept.
It's not slander, because slander would be me doing something wrong. That would be putting false information out there.
Okay, that's true. Yes. I accept the fact that I am very, very bad for not having the big chug jug. Listen, I had a nice, nice stainless steel one that I got from my job, and I accidentally left it in my car for too many days and I had to throw it out. I made a big mistake there. I had some really cool anime stickers on it too. I was so sad.
Okay, Yanni, I think this is the only time during the series and on the show where we're going to be allowed to talk about this segment. So, have you been able to play Dragon's Door recently? Have you been able to draft?
So, I have not drafted.
Okay.
I was originally going to go pre-release Dragon's Door.
Yeah. For everybody
however,
at home, we're talking about Magic the Gathering.
Yes, we're both avid Magic the Gathering fans. But what me and my buddies did is we actually grabbed the Commander decks, the pre-con Commander decks, and decided to play them because we play pretty high power Commander on Friday nights. So it's a nice change of pace. And man, these decks are great. This set is awesome. I bought a collector booster box when I really told myself I wasn't going to. The Wizards got me again, man.
Dude, I'm trying to find a collector's booster box.
Are you actually?
Yes.
Oh,
they are.
I forgot. You're north of the border. If you want,
contact
me after this. I got.
I can't find literally everywhere I'm looking. They're like, we don't know if we have them, and we don't know when we're gonna restock with them. So.
That's a conversation you and I can have later. I got you.
Yes,
Don't
we
worry.
can have that. Thank you to a certain world leader for the tariffs. But I think we're just getting kind of the most boring 1v1. We might just continue talking about Magic at this point because it's Heimerdinger, dog. We're waiting for the Ring of Fire.
Honestly, bro, I'm looking over at my my Mox Ruby I have on my desk, and I'm like, dude,
I hate you.
I want to talk about Magic so badly. Listen.
So okay, did you crack your collector boost box already?
I did, yes. This was on Friday.
Okay. So what were the hits? What did we get?
Oh, man, there were not that many hits. I did get a regular Elspeth, though. So, for those who don't know, token doublers, really, really awesome in Magic. Definitely good. I hit the 7-mana Sultai board wipe in the Japanese Halo foil, which was super sick.
Hey, to the guy that's boasting in chat, you got collector boxes? Mods, can we time this guy out? Mods, round them up. Anybody who says they got collector boxes and try to flex on me, get them out.
Oh, you own an LGS. Oh, that's really, really cool. It's because he owns an LGS. It's that's
all right. Never mind. Hey, wait, you got an LGS? Hey, you shipped to Canada? Mods, get me in contact with this guy. Untime him out right now.
Bring him back. Bring him back.
Take him off the gallows this instant.
We'll take a second to refocus here just for a minute as they finish their first items. Maul of Malmortius to Leandries. All right, we can go back to talking about Magic.
It's a local game store. Sorry, I'm telling
Oh,
Kai because Kai's
yes.
asking what an LGS means.
Yes, yes.
You know, we saw some of the a very similar matchup with the Jace being able to pick up an early Maul Mortius, so did make a pretty big difference in that matchup. We'll see if it ends up being the same here, but Flandre does have the Leandries, which as long as he's attacking a minion wave, he'll have a lot of bonus combat power available to him.
Yeah, we'll see if he's going to be able to utilize that combat power effectively. Should be able to. You know, it is Heimerdinger. It's not too hard to get some damage down, but you know, luckily we're not dealing with the 100 CS finish anymore. Very happy that that's out the window, as you know, now the players are just incentivized to use it to farm up, and Knight is incentivized to just go in. He burns the Ignite. Flandre,
he's getting
dropping
owned.
all the turrets. Oh my god, he's being rifled down, and Flandre will pick up the first kill.
He missed an auto attack, or I think he threw his accelerated shock blast at blowing up the one of the turrets, so kind of chunked some of his damage there. He's going to lose on the Ignite. Same thing for Flandre, but he does still have access to the barrier. A lot of gold now in Flandre's back pocket here after getting that kill. Should be able to afford at least an item and a half here. Finishing his boots, should be able to pick up a bit more. It's also getting a... Oh, please don't tell me it's a real Giant's belt. Please, put it back. Hey, look! Yeah. Tame is literally microing him, being like, nope, buy this one. Buy these items, brother. Okay, here we go. 1,300, buys another Haunting, guys. Thank you, Tabe, for fixing the build.
Listen, blue side is going to matter a lot in this matchup. Like, let's be honest with ourselves, because you know, any advantage that you can squeeze out, especially if you're anyone's legend. I mean, you know, we talked about it a little bit. Perceived underdogs, but by how much is the question? It turns out a blue side differential could be what turns the table.
That's true. You know, side selection has been a large part of the game. Now it's kind of gamified, considering we do have the 1v1s for them, but blue side being very influential for how many very strong champions there are. So it'll be interesting to see what we get here. The Ring of Fire is concluding here. It is starting to constrict. So I do favor Flandre if this goes long.
Yeah, he did take a bit of a rough shock blast there, but it's time for Knight to maybe go in, just trying to wait for it to get a little closer, trying to maybe smack him into the ring here. Barrier up for Flandre. The Ignites are coming back, so this could be big. Nice sidestep. All right.
Okay.
The walls are closing in.
Wait, Flandre has no turrets. Wait, he low-key he can lose this.
Hold on. He put the big turret down. He gets slammed on. Oh, it's so close. And Flandre burns away. Good call, Alk. As the win goes to BLG.
Man, I think if he had just saved his turrets, waited for the ring to get a little bit closer, there was no accelerated shock blast anymore from Knight, so... Oh well. Well, that side select, like we were saying, going over to BLG. We expect to see them on the blue side, and what this means now for the series... BLG have their pick of the litter. They can go ahead and pick some kind of AD jungler that they want, and we'll have to see what the priorities are coming into this game, because you look at the junglers, and I am really impressed with not only, I think, the champion pool of a player like Tarzan, but some of the questions that we are going to have of a player like Wei. He is brought in to bring stability to this roster, but he has not really been able to live up to some of the expectations placed on him individually from days past on RNG, and coming into BLG, you are expected to play at a very high level, as this team is expected to yet again make runs at international tournaments.
Yeah, winning it all is the expectation, not just you know, something to aim for. And going up against Tarzan, guy who's got the biggest jungle brain ever, pretty much. The true king of the jungle, lives up to his name, and the soul of anyone's legend, right? And you know, as you mentioned earlier, Wei is a guy that has struggled a little bit, right? When the top and bottom of BLG are firing on all cylinders, Wei has been one of the points that hasn't quite been playing at the highest level, even though he's been playing fine at best.
Yeah, and now I'm like really excited for. I want to get back into this 1v1 because we had so much downtime during the game because it was literally just Jace versus Heimerdinger. I wonder what we're going to be getting from top lane, because at the very beginning of Split 1 and even going into Split 2, it seemed like the top lane meta was very much solved. Jace, Mbessa, Rumble, Jax, these were kind of the champions we were getting, but Bin and Flandre have been bringing in more tanks. We've been seeing stuff like the Scion come through later on in the series, and so now we're here, BLG now, banning themselves the Scion, and now we're going to potentially have Nefiri getting through, even the Callista as well, potentially.
Yeah, Jace will be on the board as well. So the Vi ban coming through means that, as you mentioned, BLG does have their pick of the litter, but anyone's legend could have a very good 1-2 on their side. Skarner will immediately be locked in for Wei. I think this is probably a great champion to have him on, given the way he's kind of been struggling a little bit right now.
Okay, I want to see now from AL, what is their answer? Tarzan has been very creative with different kinds of junglers. We do expect the most likely one to either be the Ivern or the Zyra, but Ivern has just been a plague that no one is willing to touch here in the LPL despite receiving 0 changes. So seems like instead AL right now focusing on trying to just lock up a Taliyah early on, which is quite interesting to me.
Yeah, I think so too. It's not really what you would expect to see, especially with some of the available picks, and see if they give themselves a jungler or if they just make sure that the Jace doesn't go the way of BLG. It will be that Jace lock-in, so because jungle has already been picked on BLG, options still open for anyone's legend.
All right. Can go for the Imbecile. There's the beautiful Arcane cosplayers. Every time I'm going to mention it, especially if
Love
you do
them.
a lot of work on there. They're doing a great job. But I'm interested to see what we get as a top lane pick here. It seems like this is going to be the Mbessa. Bin's Mbessa has not been the greatest so far this year. I would expect this would have been a great champion from him. So BLG, they're going to have solid front line, really good ability to snap engage. We get Knight's Ahri this time around. So AL wanting to keep them at arm's distance away from them with this Taliyah and the Xin Zhao now.
It's going to be pretty difficult, but they do have tools to speed bump Knight's legendary Ahri. I like that you touched upon the Mbessa not being so great for Bin. The good news is, now that we're out of lane swaps, should have more opportunities to show his stuff on this champion, even though lane might not be fantastic. Post lane should be really good as we get into the second half of bans.
Thinking about 80 carries here, you do have to think about, an Ezreal in potential coming through. I'm kind of just real quick, just diving into these champion pools real quick. Jhin becomes an answer, but I don't know. I feel like if I'm BLG, I kind of don't want them to have something like a Xayah on 4 or 5 here. Just makes it very difficult for Mbessa and Ahri to exist. And eventually you're going to hit like 2 or 3 items, and Skarner's going to turn into paper in front of him.
Well, Ashe is going to be taken off, so we do have the main utility 80 carries out for right now, and with a little bit of buddy follow-up, the Xin Zhao and even the Taliyah riding the rock wall, that Weaver's wall, we could see the Kai'Sa. That would be a great pairing there, and it will go the way of hope. So let's see if he's got the LPL Kai'Sa gene in his veins.
Oh, almost every Hope game on Kai'Sa has been the LPL Kai'Sa. He has been
had that big
so
one.
Damn good on this champion, and I think giving these 2 80 carries, champions like the Kai'Sa, like even the Ezreal, like we saw getting hovered there, just will make this game one of the most explosive ones here at the very beginning of Split 2 proper. So BLG wanting a little bit more time, giving the Alistar, I think, very good at not only the lane, but being able to stop Xin Zhao. I will say, does struggle a little bit being able to play into the Taliyah and Jace if he finds proper setups. So here from BLG, they've got a very good possibility of just jumping into the backline, finding their opponents. As long as AL can buy space, I mean, you're going to have Jace poke, you're going to have Taliyah who's able to do the seismic shove. What is R5 here? What is the last pick coming in for the side of AL? This support pick for Kyle has to be a game changer.
Nautilus would fit the bill, just enough to disrupt Ahri, disrupt Mbessa, and then even give Elk some problems later on. See if he wants to do that. A little bit more pick-oriented at times. Given the fact that you've got Taliyah Xin Zhao, should be good enough. They'll be able to bolster that. So AL's got a really nice 3-man squad going on with their mid-jungle and support. Able to maybe tag somebody on BLG to get some early kills.
The thing here for both of these teams is getting to objectives and setting up first, because you walk into Fog of War, or you're walking into a Taliyah and an Ahri, suddenly there's a very real possibility you're just getting your head snapped off immediately. Yeah. Things like an Mbessa as well make that very easy to do. So AL are going to be deceptively tanky once they get 1 and 2 items, especially Tarzan and Kyle. The fact that we have something like the the ultimate from Xin Zhao is actually going to make it very difficult for BLG to fight, but you look at what BLG have, Alistar plus Skarner combo, you have the ability with both of your solo lanes to just find a pick on the back line. AL need to be very careful with how they walk into fights.
Yeah, any misstep will result in instant death just because Ahri can come from screens away to follow up with a charm. You can see Elk fly in, land on top of you, and then be able to hop out instantly. So have to be very aware of the resets over on the side of BLG. But as you mentioned, the name of the game will be getting the objectives first, especially Flandre can whittle them down if he's able, and the rest of anyone's Legend are able to get there first, poke them down, make life very, very hard. And one thing get to talk a little bit about is, grub priority, dragon priority here. Giving Jace, a lot of grubs has generally been seen as a very successful venture.
Yeah, I slightly favor BLG's composition in a side lane. I think that Mbessa makes playing in long lanes really difficult to do just because of how much mobility this champion has. And Ahri, I think, just has much better kill potential in a side lane. I think she also gets out a lot faster and more safely with her ultimate and the Foxfire. So we're getting ready. Get those gyos ringing here as we finally have the first matchup between BLG and AL to start 2025.
This is going to be awesome, Elk. I'm so excited. I know everybody in chat's excited. I know you're excited. I know the rest of the staff here at LPL English are really excited. And it's a great way for AL to show that, yes, there is a new top dog in town, right? And you mentioned for it, we talked a little bit about pound for pound in player roles. You might tilt it toward BLG. So we're really looking for the progression of Shanks, Hope, and Kyle to really be on display in today's game.
Especially for Shanks, I think a focus needs to be on him being able to hold his own versus Knight. While Knight has shown some errors here and there so far in 2025, he's not been the bulletproof player that we got to see in the last 2 years. I still think the pedigree and just the general level of play that Knight has put forward, the body of work of this player has been so incredible. And Shanks, unfortunately, kind of going up against some really great mids during their playoff runs in Split 1, has been the most consistent member for this squad, but I think needs a lot more games for us to feel more confident about ranking him a lot higher than maybe where he should be anyway.
Yeah. The only way to get the games is to play the games, right? As Hope and Kyle just being kept at arm's length here, always got to be aware of Tristana's E, can deal quite a bit of damage if you get tagged a lot. See BLG already positioning for level 2, forcing them off the wave. So jungler will clear away from the bot lane of anyone's Legend.
Pretty interesting there. We actually got to see I think the other day on Alistar was putting up a performance where level 1 Alistar was low-key kind of scary, which was pretty fun to watch. And here with Elk already having the lethal tempo procced, we're seeing the junglers, like you were saying, going towards opposite sides of the map. Tarzan will be spotted here on these Raptors with a very good ward from Knight. So I'm interested to see how much we can actually get from this bottom lane. I think it's pretty tough to dive a Nautilus early. So I think it's mostly just going to be a full clear, get some early vision, and then once we're back from our recalls, look for maybe a little bit more play on the map, maybe around mid lane.
Definitely the place you want to look when you're playing against an Ahri, and when you have a Talia, it's going to be at least a couple of opportunities to maybe take down Knight, as you said, not bulletproof like he has been in past splits. So if there's any time to actually do that, any time for Tarzan and Shanks to get him ahead, any time to enable Tarzan or enable Shanks to be the Xiaohu level player Tarzan believes him to be, getting the double MVPs in the last game, the time is now.
We kind of saw there, Knight already getting Shanks to TP and force an early back just to pick up a tier, but was fading towards this side of the map. Recognizes that this is his strong side, and they might even still be prepping for this dive. Wei is behind the turret, and they're full HP with all their summoners. I think this is kind of tough.
I don't care how tough it is to dive in Nautilus, but a great flash there. On gets trapped under the turret, and he goes down first blood to the Nautilus, but they're hopping on top. The flash away from Elk means he will survive a 1-for-1 in the end. bit more fighting, but nothing more after that.
If we're still diving on level 3, why did we get rid of Shun? Like, I thought we brought in Wei to be a bit more consistent, but Kyle just here to stop this. Now, Shanks, how much movement speed can he get from the wall riding? Should be able to just, throw in the Ishtal's impact.
Oh, he got him!
Flipped, he's just dead.
He caught him in the middle of going through the wall, and Shanks will pick up the kill. Great stuff from Anyone's Legend early.
We talked about how hard it was going to be for BLG to dive the Nautilus, ends up grabbing themselves the first kill there, and then they find one on the exit. So BLG, they were so focused on just trying to get Elk this gold lead that I think they've really jeopardized a lot of this game. They've made it very difficult for them to play. We get this replay of how exactly this went down. I thought this was very creative from On just to get in the back line, but Kyle takes a hook, Hope flashes, and he's still under his turret. This barrier doing a lot of work. I mean, I just don't think it's worth it. Yeah, he misses out on some of that wave, but now you've given over more gold to AL, and I think you've wasted a lot of summoner spells. You've wasted all five summoner spells just to get a bot lane kill.
Yeah, it's so many, and now this will allow AL to go wherever they want for these early objectives, right? This dragon is up, the grubs are coming up. Now, of course, BLG with Tristana always going to push in this bot lane most of the time, so they could elect to give up the dragon, could AL, but see what they want to do, because there are some pings going on the bottom side, and Tarzan's shading down as well.
Because Shanks ended up going for that play, he did have to take another recall, and does mean that Knight has early priority. They're already swapping the bottom lane waves here. Gives them so many options as well, and I think maybe even cuts AL from starting this dragon, because now Mbessa, after pushing in a wave versus Flandra, will be able to start for this fight, can even walk down if they really need to and take control of the mid lane wave so that Elk and On can walk towards this dragon pit. Really interesting stuff here from the side of BLG.
Yeah, snappy move by them, and as you said, you favor them to get the grubs and make things happen with Mbessa and Ahri in the side lanes. BLG feeling the exact same way, snapping those ones up. The trade is for the dragon to the bottom side. A little bit of an extra boost from that Infernal Drake.
So I wonder from here on out, does Wei elect to just cut the map vertically, right? Just say, look, Ahri by herself is going to be very strong. Let's play around our Mbessa and let On and Wei just be absolute maniacs on the map. Let them open up a lot of space for us here.
Yeah, and remember, we said missteps for AL are deadly, and it doesn't matter which side laner you play around. That two-man goon squad will kill anybody on AL. Yeah, just anyone. I was thinking, maybe they won't kill Tarzan. I think they will probably kill Tarzan most of the time, too.
So, here now, Kyle is just reinforcing Bin for the time being. We're seeing Elk on every single wave. They go and push. All right, we're going into Fog of War. We are ready to potentially make a move here. A lot of focus on the top side of the map. Again, Knight and Shanks. Shanks actually down teleport right now. It is going to be coming up within the next 20 seconds, but we'll be kind of having to see if Knight is going to have first movement. We do expect, as the Ahri matchup, that it's just a lot easier for him to push and clear waves.
Yeah, you'll be able to move first if you're Knight. However, Shanks can oftentimes get there first, depending on how close he actually is, where the fight could be for a Weaver's Wall. Not too deep into this game so far. Anyone's Legend nursing a very small gold lead at this time, but we talked about how explosive these fights can be. Wei is now level 6. Knight is now level 8. He's hanging on to his ultimate. At any time, we could see these two move around along with On to just pick off anybody on Anyone's Legend. Anyone's Legend doing well to at least keep the wards up on their side of the map. Yeah.
Until Hope finishes or gets his Q evolve, it's going to be always a lot easier for BLG to get mid priority and push this wave out. So I am kind of looking towards when and what timers they take to actually move across the map. On by himself now has to kind of move away from this. Good use of the headbutt and the pulverize there to just stop that combo immediately.
Oh, he could be off. He might be off. All right. The ultimate pushing him away. He's going to flash too. So definitely an off moment for sure.
Okay. Good job. Good punish there from AL, recognizing he's not allowed onto that side of the map. also means that it's very dangerous for Bin to continue pushing on this wave. He knows that there's a Xin Zhao on this side of the map. If Jace does show up, he has to imagine there's something. And look at how robust the vision line from AL is right now. It's stopping all of the jungle entrances. It's keeping a big eye on the mid lane. And they're just making sure that, hey, we don't need to really worry about Wei crossing the river line. They are going to, for the most part, be reliant on getting jungle vision.
4 pink wards, now 5 pink wards on the map for the side of Anyone's Legend. This is the definition of a well-coached team, Alt Battery. That is awesome to see. This is the stuff I wish I could see in solo queue. Is Elk going to go in for a cheeky little 1v1 trade, taking Hope down to about half HP. 40 seconds until these grubs are up. Wonder what BLG is going to do on now level 6. So if he gets engaged on, he'll survive a little bit longer. But the engage not going to be as strong.
And this is an advantage for BLG. The fact that Elk found that trade kind of locks Hope under this turret. And while Tarzan is going to be able to clear up towards this objective, oh, good cancel from Bin. Just tries to get the unstoppable. So I think that's a pretty meaningful trade that Shanks is able to get.
Yep, just a little bit more power out of BLG right now as these grubs spawn. So see what the move is as Knight and Flandra. Gonna get a nice little trade there for Knight. Given the fact that Flandra's teleport is down, it looks like there's no interest for Anyone's Legend to contest these grubs. So they've been started up by Wei, although Tarzan and Kyle are in the area.
You just lose the mid lane wave here. Even if Hope is able to clear this minion wave, walk on over with the Plasma procs and the Killer Instinct, I think it is very difficult. You still have this Alistar. There's the Impale that we were talking about. That's 5 grubs for BLG. Are they going to want to try to flip this?
They want them all. There's one stolen away. Kyle tagged up here, but he should be fine. They forced out Knight's teleport. Big knock-up coming through to cancel the Skarner and Alistar. So they do get a key summoner out of Knight.
And this is also going to buy time for Flandra to be able to hit this turret. I mean, no one else is going to be able to match him. Bin just teleported to the top lane. Knight just teleported into that place. So that'll be 2 plates going over to the Jace. And as the progenitor of the tank Jace play, I need to see Flandra on this Jace put up a performance, because he has been such a big player for when it comes to how this team tends to play. And to be honest, while I think some of the carry performances haven't quite all been there, except for a couple of Gwen games, he has, I think, a pretty big role on this Jace to kind of be able to poke and prod and put BLG in awkward positions.
Yeah, if you're going to give him 2 plates on the bottom side, right, and give up these grubs, you are going to have to make the most of that. BLG now moving in to try and break this vision line of Anyone's Legend. Here's a full engage come through. Tarzan trying to get the back line on his low. Knight's got a couple charges. What an impale coming through by Wei. Hope trying to batter BLG and keep them away for now. Tarzan wants to go back in. On's out of the fight. Tarzan's got to flash away, but Shanks critically was not there to help out his team.
Wonderful vision toggle from our observers there. The fact that they show that AL have no idea that Ahri is around that corner. Multiple flashes, or at least 2 flashes coming in from AL. And while they grab the kill, it's going to be an HP advantage here for Anyone's Legend and the Dragon as well. So I think you're feeling very good about that as BLG. My one worry is maybe in 3 minutes time there is a play going on for this team, but AL now, they've got 2 Dragons. We haven't seen much side lane play coming out from BLG as we get this replay here. And a lot of this, I think, is the fact that almost all of this damage goes down onto Kyle, while Tarzan, and you see this damage, it's really not all that much. I love this sweep coming in from Tarzan that makes it so difficult for BLG to actually hit him.
And now Tarzan down his flash. Meanwhile, BLG retaining a lot of flashes there in that little dust up. So see if there's a play to be had onto Tarzan at this in a couple of minutes here. Is starting to get a little bit deeper into this game, all nearing that 15-minute mark. Conditions for BLG looking mighty fine right now. They've evened up the gold. They've got some solid scaling on their side.
Okay, we're going to try and play a little bit more. Remember, we have 5 grubs, so making a play. Oh, look, Elk!
Oh, Tarzan couldn't get to him. And Elk is able to hop to his teammates. So close on the Wind Becomes Lightning.
A little bit of gold here now going over to the Ahri, but instead they don't want to give up another mid-wave. So saw a preemptive move there from Shanks, trying to see if maybe they needed to cut off in mid and reinforce this side of the map. But small play there coming in. It is Tarzan getting the ultimate out from Elk, right, and potentially saving an even worse play from BLG going for a dive onto Flandre. A pretty soft game, all things considered. 4 kills, 15 minutes. I think I'm loving the fact that both of these teams are kind of testing each other, seeing where they're allowed to get away with stuff, you know, squeezing a little bit in areas and trying to see exactly what both teams are willing to give up and trade.
Yeah, it's always nice to see a bit of a chess match like this, and, you know, I have to say, shame on Elk for almost getting caught out there, even though he didn't burn any of his summoners, because BLG has been so good at playing as a unit and playing together. See if Elk gets caught out here because he is alone, has to burn the barrier. He's flashing away, but he burns with the red buff, and now On could be caught out here on top of Hope. Here comes Wei, but Wei is pushed away. Shanks coming through, and there's the seismic shove. They find On, the teleport from Flandre. Wei has to flash out of there, and anyone's legend making a big play, and they're looking to knock down mid-tier 1.
I just love how ferocious we got to see Hope. Flies in after a single proc of the plasma onto Elk after already getting so much damage down. And this is the kind of play you need to be able to make. Now there's some missing summoner spells from Elk. You will not have those summoner spells available for Hope, but you really want to try to put yourself in a good position for this Herald. You are watching a BLG team that has 5 grubs. You do not want to be giving over this objective as... Yeah, I mean, this replay is pretty cut and dry. Elk takes a full-on involved Q. The red buff that he had just picked up takes him down. And this play in general from AL is really precise.
Yeah, it was beautiful. They saw that BLG has been really good at playing as a unit, and they are able to mirror that with a really nice play. And as you mentioned, Elk without summoners, you have to be worried. Kyle can just walk up and ult him. Sure, you can leap away if you're Elk, but that's not going to help you.
Knight's looking for a TP angle here. Same thing with Shanks.
All right.
Shanks is going to teleport first. Okay.
4,000 HP on the Herald right now. No poke can be landed by Flandre. Shanks is joining the team.
Though.
Knight is here. As you mentioned, been on the side. Herald going to be secured for BLG. And anyone's legend. Looks like they're just going to walk it out here.
On is moving first here.
Okay, wait a minute.
Seismic shove down.
Whoa, wait a minute. Bit of a disconnect here, although On is the one who ends up getting caught out, and he falls down. Bin gets onto Kyle, but the knockups are going to be there, and the seismic shove, too. It's a double kill for Hope, and the mid and 80 carry of anyone's legend are playing great.
This is insane. I mean, On tries to find the engager. They're going to make a replay here. I mean, Wei does have the impale, but it's just not enough. AL they lose the Herald, but they'll find the play on the back end here. Really good stuff. Again, this was the matchup that we were excited for when we looked at these two teams. The fact that they haven't played, the fact that these are some of the top teams here in the LPL. We're already getting it so early on into Group Ascend. I mean, On is just by himself. He's stopping Tarzan, but Knight in the backline is getting stopped by Kyle. This means that now Bin has used his ultimate. He's in the fight, but he's just in no man's land. Same thing with Knight. The solo lanes of BLG are kind of letting him down.
Anyone's legend wanted to prove that their split one is not a fluke. So far here in Game 1, looking mighty fine. Dragon has been started up, looking to put themselves on Mountain Soul Point. BLG does not want to let them have it. Dragon getting a little bit lower as the Weaver's Wall going to come in and try to split things apart. 4,000 HP and getting lower as Wei is the one up front. BLG off to the side. Elk getting poked out just a little bit. Hook going in, doesn't land, and it's taken away by BLG. And who's getting blown up? It's Kyle who goes down. And Knight is ready to reset. Wei is coming to cruise in. Multiple members grouped up, trying to slow him, but he flashes to the side. Another nice job there coming through from Shanks as they are getting rifled down by Hope. He's knocked away. Elk is on the wrong side of the tracks, and they lose the Dragon, but anyone's legend win another fight.
On is completely disconnected from this. Elk is going to get away by hiding on their side of the jungle. I'm going to be honest, the problem points for BLG are starting to arise. Wei, while winning the smite, he just gets a nothing impale. He's not able to play against AL, and they completely snap his head off in that fight. As now, AL, despite losing the last two objectives, are up a significant amount of gold at this point, and I love this Weaver's Wall. It stops On from really being able to set up all that well, and then Shanks with this Unraveled Earth, he makes it so difficult for them to really get in there. Kyle, you get one. You get one this game, okay? That one was a bit questionable. I'm kind of just surprised we're not seeing the solo lanes of BLG kind of set up. I would really have preferred to see like On find and engage, or even if we kind of get way to find something, then we send Bin and Knight into the backline to find them, but that has just not been the case in this game.
BLG are reeling right now. They're down about 2,500 gold, as Anyone's Legend have been playing really, really well. Now BLG may have bitten off a little bit more than they can chew. You stole the red buff. Wei is able to actually get over the wall. The knockups are there, but no follow-up to be had. So he'll be able to at least take that one, put it in his back pocket. But I'm sure that Anyone's Legend, and specifically Tarzan's, going to remember that one.
I think Anyone's Legend are really happy with the map state right now. I mean, the fact that BLG haven't been really pushing on the side lane and kind of using some of those 5 grubs. They even had the Herald. They got a single turret for it, which is nice. But, oh, On just died while we were in the picture-in-picture. Okay, sure. Yeah, that's... On is 0-5 in this game. Him and Mako have been holding hands, being like, bro, we are just going to die a lot in these games. Just call it a night. That's fine.
Did not know that Fogo de Chao was open this early, but they are certainly serving up steaks made of On in this game, Alk Battery. The Otacon has spawned on the bottom side of the map. As you mentioned, the map state, very, very good for Anyone's Legend. BLG's solo lanes, sure, Knight's got a totally fine-looking scoreline right now, but as you mentioned, got to see him get to the back line along with Bin. And just them and Wei are just not linking up at all. And meanwhile, for Anyone's Legend, I mean, Tarzan's doing the most.
Tarzan's doing a lot. I really want to point out that the carries here for AL and Shanks and Hope are for sure stepping up, especially Hope.
Oh my God, so good.
After 2022 Worlds, JDG, he makes semifinals. He ends up losing in that semifinals to T1. Kind of just fell off the map. He was stuck on WE for a little bit. He unfortunately wasn't able to really find all that much success. And to finally see this player who I have had like a soft spot for so long, finally, or at least for now, climb back to the high highs that he had already found before is a really inspiring story. So it's early on into the series. We still have a lot of League of Legends to play, but I think the fact that Hope already is having such a successful 2025 is really good for Anyone's Legend.
And the fact that he's even having a successful game in this individual game 1 that's not even over is further proof that this guy is back, right? He is that guy who made it to Worlds. He is that guy that unfortunately was not able to get the job done against T1, but he's still that caliber of player, right? Shanks proving himself that he is a high caliber player too. This is really encouraging for Anyone's Legend. It's now up to them to just put this one away after getting a lead. Kyle gonna land a hook. On is gonna go in. Let's see if the rest of the team can show up. He's tagged up and goes down immediately. The Impale lands, and Disaster may be striking. Flandra stays alive for long, but not long enough, as it is 2 kills going over to BLG.
Well, now BLG just get to play the map really wide. They even get to have this Otacon if they really want it. I mean, you have Tristana, why not? So AL, big mistake here. Maybe they can find Bin?
Okay, if they find Bin, they could transition this. Let's see what the move is going to be. Shanks does have that Weaver's Wall
really
available.
Risky here.
It is. It's getting lower and lower, 7,000 HP, 6,000 HP. The armor, the MR being shredded from BLG as we speak, and they are forced off. Now Anyone's Legend are going to do it. The Weaver's Wall coming in, trying to get them off, but Tarzan goes in. So does Hope. Elk does not go down. Tarzan's in the thick of things, and they will find Wei, and nobody else on Anyone's Legend dies, and they will be able to secure Otacon, and BLG have to limp away.
That Crescent Guard got so much value out from Anyone's Legend. They'll grab the Otacon, they get 2 kills on top of it, and they get the Dragon. Insane play coming in from AL. They're recognizing which angles they're allowed to squeeze for, when they're allowed to find fights. And him being able to start these fights for Hope and for Shanks, such an incredible job. I love what we're getting from Anyone's Legend here.
They are punishing the hubris and the greed of BLG. And after that, now with these big EXP leads coming from the Flowers, 47-4. The extra damage you're going to get out of that too. This is going to be really hard for BLG to try to come back in this game. Look at this replay.
This starts with them trying to use some of their grubs, the fact that On finds a very good engagement onto Kyle, and then this flash engage. I will say it was a good start to this. Getting the flash out of also Hope is something that is going to be pretty meaningful, but leashing this right here, I mean, Bin just getting caught out before this play basically makes this happen. And the fact that Hope flies in with his teammate, the fact that even this Crescent Guard is getting so much value. We talked about it from draft, right? That this Xin Zhao was going to be deceptively very tanky. Oh, Kyle. Oh, boy.
No, he's fine.
I saw that Q. Brother. That was tough.
Yeah, but you're right about the Crescent Guard. It's done so much because just as Ari, do you really want to be in there, right? As Elk, do you really want to be in the face of Xin Zhao? Unless you're hard winning a fight. No, you don't. Speaking of fights, On going for a big engage here. Teleport coming in, going low as Kyle, as he will fall, and BLG's health bars are looking mighty fine. Flandra gets in. Shanks could be in trouble. He's got to go golden. They're split. Hope gets to the back line. He finds Elk. Hope is carrying the hopes and dreams of the fans of anyone's legend, as Bin's got to flash away. A triple kill for Hope, and the Baron in the eyes of anyone's legend.
And it seems like the saying is true. Hope is the killer here, man. AL, they get a huge fight, and they'll grab the Baron, which will now spill over into that Dragon in 3 minutes' time. This game has been even, but you look at the jungle difference. You look right now at these 280 carries, and AL are them in this game right now. It is so good to see, as this starts off with Kyle getting picked off, but look at where Knight is, not dealing damage. He goes back in, and this Zhonya's from Shanks delays so much time. It buys a lot of space. The fact that Hope just gets to fly in and find more of these members, such a fantastic fight coming in from them. And BLG lacking the ability to actually put damage down onto this Kaisa to stop someone like this Xin Zhao. Good job coming in from them. And BLG, we need to see them tighten up if they want any chance to come back in this game.
So many Kaisas would be a little bit too timid, but not the ones you find in the LPL. Not Hope, the guy who made so many big plays against IG in the series clinching game, has now done it again against BLG. 4,000 gold up, 26.5 minutes, 2 minutes on this Dragon. Looking for Soul is anyone's legend. BLG are going to need to find a way to try to get a foothold back in this river, because I think if they get Mountain Soul, this game will be over.
I mean, they've got Baron. It's so tough for them to be able to push, and now what they'll do is they'll kind of ping-pong between the top and mid lane waves. Mid lane is going to be so much more important as this Dragon is spawning in a minute's time. It's that Soul, like you were mentioning. The fact that BLG even found a single Dragon is very good for them. Otherwise, they would have already been looking down them having the Soul. I mean, this game would be a lot different if
Flying teleport.
They're going to try and get Flandra, but Flandra, it doesn't matter, though. They're losing so much in mid here just to try to grab him, and he'll be up for this Dragon. Who cares?
Yeah, the global taunt is being used on Flandra, and Bin missed his ultimate. Flandra is maybe... No, he made it close, but he wasn't able to actually get the kill. But as you mentioned, they're losing so much. Here's a four-man push. Teleport's coming in, and it looks like anyone's legend wisely not continuing the push, worried about these recalls.
They get an inhibitor here. I mean, they'll just recall. Flandra, if he really needs to, can I mean, I guess he doesn't have teleport, but who cares? He has so much movement speed.
He'll get there.
Fantastic stuff from AL. 5,000 gold up. They're going to spend. They're going to be so much more powerful. If Shanks can get a fully completed Zhonya's here, I mean, this fight gets so much more difficult for BLG. So they need to push up as far as possible, and Super Minions are not going to make that easy.
Well, this is the opening that BLG needed to get this foothold in the river. 25 seconds before the Dragon spawns. The only problem is, as you mentioned, you lost so much for it. The waves are not pushing in your favor either. As anyone's legend are walking it down mid here. Flandra is not with the team, though, so it's a 5v4. They may have misstepped as they're going to look for Tarzan here. It looks like that is not the target that way wanted. On, getting chunked just a little bit. Charms flying out, not quite landing. BLG have a little bit of time, but On is down to about half HP now. Flandra is looking to join the fight. Way going to get engaged on the side. They're just poked
There it
so
is.
low, and Way is not even close to his team. He misses the impale. Tarzan's able to find his way out, and anyone's legend are going to dominate this fight. And On is going to fall next. Shanks doing a lot. You get on top of Knight on the side, and he can't even escape the clutches of Flandra. You might charm him up, but that's all you got is looks, Ari, as Knight has to run away. Now the push coming down to the mid lane as Shanks is going to chase off Elk off screen. Will be able to take him down. All right, Knight's still alive. The golden left hand is trying to survive, trying.
Yeah,
but I don't think it's going to matter, Elk.
They're going to end the game. Okay, who cares about a damn Mountain Soul at this point? Flandra's going to TP, and that's it. Game 1 resoundingly goes over to AL.
What a beautifully played game by anyone's legend. This was so awesome. They played great. They beat BLG. They don't have one. Like I'm worried that something deeper is wrong with this team fundamentally, because it's just a same run back of a very successful team. We'll have to see if BLG is able to right the ship as we are into picks and bans. They're on the blue side this time around, but a couple of the OPs already been taken off the board.
So Sion staying a consistent ban here.
This champion might be scary.
Yeah, we've consistently dropped the Callista in both games, and wonder if this is just going to be a Varus ban on 3 or... Yeah, okay, so...
Cool.
My eyes kind of immediately move over towards the jungle position, especially when we look at both of these AD carries. Kai'Sa being gone already, I do have to think that something... man, I'm trying to kind of rack my brain here. I mean, maybe you go for, like a Pantheon early with the flex?
We'll see. It looks like they're going to go with the Lilius. They're going to put the ball into Wei's hands here. I mean, that Skarner performance in the last game left a little bit to be desired, putting it kindly. We'll see what he's able to do on the Lilia, champion that's going to demand a lot more resources out of him.
Yeah, and even Lilia, the last Lilia game we got from Wei was barely a win. That was all Elk versus IG, so
yeah.
Gonna be kind of looking towards Wei and the rest of BLG to really rally around this pick. And I wonder what ADs we're going to be getting in the solo lanes, because now Mbessa, Jace gone already. Going to be something that's kind of that we'll see how BLG will be able to pilot. I wonder if this is just Callista and...
I don't see why not. Okay. If they don't want to go for the Callista, I think that's fine. But I would think just, hey, give them Callista Nico. Make Elk and On's life really difficult, because very clearly they are the ones, along with Bin, that are actually doing things for this team. If you make life hard on them, it's definitely going to give AL a leg up. But instead, they do go to the Corki, leaving that flex open, even though we haven't really seen it in the mid lane a whole lot recently.
Hovering the Yone, a champion that Knight has been able to have a lot of success on in the past. I'm looking at top lane champions here for Bin. In terms of the AD flexes, you still have the Camille. There's stuff like the Gnar and the Jax that are available. They're going to grab the top side of the map here for BLG, what looks to be the case. Renekton here still fine, but really good team fighting. I will say BLG are a little short-ranged, but Yone, I think, solves a lot of those problems with how much mobility and long-range access this champion does have.
Yeah, it gives him a secondary go button as well, so I imagine once we get to the second half of bans, we'll see a couple more engaged supports get taken out, so On isn't able to really set the team up nearly as well. Still waiting on this last pick for anyone's legend. We'll see if they want to maintain the flex or if they're going to just throw all their cards on the table here. I would really like a Maokai here, and they would too as they lock that one in.
Wow. So Maokai, Nico, I mean, you have already really great setup. I think skirmishing with the Corki. This is technically a flex, but I think Corki has almost entirely moved out of the mid lane into the bottom lane, so we are expecting this to be for Hope and Kael a lot of skirmishing power for this 2v2. So BLG, what is their option here in the back end of draft? Are they going to be trying to say, look, we're going to try and match the skirmishing and some of the early priority from Hope and Kael? Or do we say, lane, we can try to pick a lane that's going to be slightly favorable, but mostly looking at either to outplay you in the mid to late game of this, or maybe even have more important item spikes at certain areas?
Let's see what some of the options are. Is Callista getting taken off the board, so BLG not thinking that this Corki will go to the bot lane. Karma getting taken out for Anyone's Legend taking that one away, so a little bit worried about the Karma going and buffing up, and maybe we'll see something else. Pantheon going the way of the Dinosaur. That would be a really, really good support pick with the rest of BLG. It would have worked so well.
Yeah, and even you know, you're kind of thinking about what potential like flipping, like are we gonna try and flip the game on bottom lane?
Yeah.
Ezreal's still available here. AL will have the first pick on 4, so they're gonna have to show at least one of their solo lanes.
All right. Looks like they're at least in the market for an ADC. We'll see if they're actually going to lock one in. I think Misfortune would actually be quite a good pick here. You pair that up with Nico, you pair that up with Maokai. That's big damage coming through if Hope is able to actually set his feet, and they will lock in that Misfortune. So,
all right.
BLG, that short-range team, it's going to be really tough.
Yeah, it just means that all eyes on Hope. Can you find the setup here? You have Maokai, you have Nico to be able to help you. I think BLG really looking at a Ashe Braum lane in particular. Kind of loses out a little bit when it comes to just straight up damage, but I think being able to interact at range, being able to give better setup to your Yone and Renekton, I think perfectly fine. We are going for the Jhin instead. I really think you should have been going Braum here. Yes, it sucks into the Nico, but I think you really need to be able to kind of deal with these champions. And what is Flandra going to be going for on 5?
Surely not that, right? But, yeah, you know,
it's good into Renekton.
Oh my god, it is. You know what?
We're getting
right,
Yorick in the LPL.
We're locking in the Yorick. Let's go, Yorick Mori. And they're going to have the 6th Man of the Year award going over to the Maiden this game. BLG might just be cooked. But, Ulk, I want to talk a little bit more about the bottom lane pairing of BLG because, as you mentioned, you thought the Braum would have been really, really good. I mean, I also am really sad about this Jhin pick. Like, sure, I think putting Elk on Ashe would have been, like, kind of disgusting for your really good AD carry, but it feels kind of hard to really utilize the Jhin route here. You don't really have easy ways to proc it on an enemy.
Yeah, it's going to be mostly reliant on kind of as a follow-up to On with this rel. Yeah. So we'll be seeing what exactly kind of Elk is able to do. I will say, BLG, if this game goes late, are really, really strong. Yone with 3 and 4 items, Jhin hitting those same power spikes is going to be a menace to deal with. But early game, I'm kind of looking at this. I mean, you have Maokai for setup. Flandra should be untouched in a lot of these fights. I think you'll have a little bit of troubles versus Yone, but Renekton early on as a matchup that you can very easily handle. The fact that you have like the prison that you can kind of put people in, and the immobile carries that are on or for Elk and Wei, this could be a huge Yorick game. And honestly, not surprising that it is Flandra, one of our biggest innovators here in the LPL.
We haven't really seen him innovate that much over the last couple of games, and I'm so glad we're getting that little twist here. And sure, while BLG may have these really strong carries as the game goes on, is it really going to matter when your base is in shambles, right? You're going to have to keep tabs on this Yorick all game long. A legendary side laner, a low elo, and, you know, at times when you're on a one-trick high elo terror, all the same. We'll see what he's able to do in a competitive match. It's anyone's legend. It would be legendary if they went and this pick got them to a 2-0.
BLG fans kind of quiet after
yeah,
that game.
I would be
you
too.
You can see it in our Twitch predictions, to be honest. BLG fans are all in Twitch chat, apparently.
Yeah, pretty rough first game for them, especially since you would think that, you know, maybe some BLG fans are like, you know, it's just anyone's legend, right? Like, nah, bro, this ain't just anyone's legend. This is the anyone's legend led by Hope. The one where Shanks is developing into a monster. See what he's able to do in this mid lane matchup. Corki, typically one of the picks that you see into Yone to just try to keep him down in the lane.
And we've been talking about, you know, Shanks, Hope, and kind of the rest of this AL roster as the junglers are going to be starting on opposite sides of the map, but kind of want to tease a little bit, you know, talking about this top lane matchup. Yorick, a pretty good bruiser right now, especially after some of his gameplay changes. And especially when we're looking, we're just doing
Hang
this.
on. Yeah, we're just going for it here. I mean, Elk is taking a lot of damage, so is Kyle. It looks like the Anyone's Legend bot lane has been shoved off. It was cleansed for Ignite.
Yeah, okay, so I was going to talk about the fact that Flandra is some of the last remaining old school, old generation LPL talent to still be playing. I mean, players like Xiaohu as well, but Bin has been, the kind of the talk of the town, one of the best players in the league, and kind of been the new generation when it comes to LPL greatness. Already bringing LPL to a Worlds Finals again with him and BLG last year, and being able to pick up, or at least push a lot of series internationally. So I think a series like this is really important from being able to kind of see from a perspective like, Flandra did get his number last time. Oh my god, it has been
2019?
6 years since Yorick top.
My goodness. I mean, you know what? Like we said, sometimes when you're the old guard, you gotta get a little bit creative against these young cats. And Flandra said, all right, young blood, I'm gonna show you what's what. Yorick, he gets to use the shovel as a cane if he wants to, so, yeah. It's right in line with that. He's just maybe Yorick cosplay in the future.
Flandra is a avid patch notes reader, at least. So
true.
We know he knows that it's there. So Lilia now ending on the top side of the map. Tarzan's gonna actually skip his blue buff, or no, he's actually just leashing it. This is shower time. But I think there's maybe a play onto bottom side. I know that Corki is getting a lot of good damage and chip onto Knight.
Flash for flash, and everybody's flashing on Flandra. Is he going to be able to sustain?
No
He is. He put
way.
him in the cage. He put him in the cage and locked the door shut.
And he got so much healing. He uses the Q. He's able to also get the cage, like you were saying, plus grasp the Undying. That's double flashes from Bin and Wei. That completely changes the matchup, by the way. When Renekton no longer has flash versus Yorick, it becomes almost impossible for you to actually deal damage. Elk.
Big damage coming through. Who's going to go down? Kyle going to use his clone and on. Not going to want to go after him any further. So Elk is now down both summoners. Wait a minute. We're going to see. Okay. On said, nah, round 2, baby. He picks up first blood, and Tarzan inside the jungle of BLG. Shanks is here, but Shanks has no mana. Knight looking for a knockup, forces a flash out, and On's coming in from behind. It's going to be a 3v2 very quickly. Shanks in trouble. He's got no flash anymore. Tarzan flashing over the wall to try to save him, but he burns away to the Ignite, and On gets his second kill. Is On going to get his third? No, he ends up going down, but Tarzan gets chopped down too.
And that's 3 kills immediately now for BLG. 2 of them going on, not our favorite. It's a lot of assists for Knight and Wei, but you're going to have to just take it if you are BLG. And at the very least, it means that Wei gets to go back. He has all of his camps that he still has to take and even reset, go up towards the top side and get ready for Wolves and Gromp to respawn. It's such a risky invade to go for. Yes, Tarzan has so much mobility, but the fact that you don't have a lot of mana on this Corki, very dangerous. We gotta take a look at this replay again. Yes, it's the flash from Elk. The fact that he lives with barely any HP is pretty nice, but want to see this from On. I mean, yeah, he just recognizes, like, you are not allowed to be here, Kyle, and gets a free roam as well towards this topside fight.
Yep, and Shanks was just completely had nowhere to go. He had no mana. He'd used his flash. I respect Tarzan for trying to save his boy, but ended up just costing himself a life as well.
Oh, top lane though.
Oh, wait, what's going on up there? Let's go.
Guess what? You've been trapped again. You've been put in the baby cage.
Hee hee. You can't slice and dice your way out of that one. That was Bin hitting level 6 as well, so now if Flandra is able to survive off that, I'm sure Bin is really upset with the way the game has gone for himself. But BLG probably happy with the way things are going for them as Grubs have been started up. Wei is there to take them, and that would be a big takeaway and a really big feather in their cap for these solo laners is getting these Grubs.
Yeah, right now what I am going to be expecting from BLG is that if they get a majority of these Grubs, we're going to be seeing probably a 4-1 setup where Knight on a side lane is going to be able to push very, very deep, and then once he has wave control, he has the option of either going for the turret with these Grubs or looking and trying to make a move into whichever lane, secondary lane that BLG are playing for. Just a really easy play and simple one to go for as the Yone. Eventually going for a dive. He's going to get spotted. Hope is... It's not Hope, it's Kyle. He's just using Misfortune skin right now. And Tarzan's on the opposite side of the map. Can Flandra survive this?
All right, the Maiden trying to even this up to make it a 2v2, but Flandra's got no mana. And a slice and dice going in and out, but wait.
He's living, he's living!
Way is stuck! Flandra ends up dying, but it's a 1-for-1. Beautifully played.
He got him stuck inside of the prison, and then all of the healing from Grasp of the Undying again, plus this Q. Great job from Flandra yet again to at least go even in the trades. And this just means that now the map gets to be kind of split here for AL. They get to have control of the bottom side jungle if they really want. Already stole Raptors. Now Tarzan gets to go to the opposite side, take his red and his Krugs. Has the option to even flip and get ready. Now that he has level 6, I do expect for them to be looking for a dive. Let's get Hope involved. He's going to have level 6 soon. Same thing with Kyle.
And this also puts a lot of like big downtime on Wei, you know, a champion that this Lilia that's so good at clearing out these jungle camps, getting ahead, getting gold off that, and you know, every time he dies, it's a little bit of time that AL has to not worry about that. We'll see if we're going to have any big plays coming out of the bot lane, as you said, Kyle. Once he hits level 6, I'm interested to see him take over this game with this Nico. We've seen a lot of really good Nico support play in the LPL so far in 2025. A lot of big pop blossoms.
Going to be one more minion here for Kyle. Kyle, let's get into experience range, brother.
Come on, you can do it.
Lilia is stealing some camps.
Okay.
At least was able to get most of these most of these wolves. Oh, we're getting a re-engage.
Are we going to go all the way in on Kyle when he's level 6 on below half HP? But again, these camps are still being done. Shanks is on the way, but Knight's here first. He's got a level advantage too. And he wants Legend just trying to drive BLG out of their jungle, but Wei ends up snagging the blue buff on, trying to leap away, but he gets rooted up. Let's see what the turnaround is. Bullet time coming through. Does a lot, but a huge Fate Sealed coming through from Knight. The question is it enough? Wei did so much damage too. He's trying to just get away, trying to squeeze out whatever damage he can. Elk cleanses, but he really can't get closer to Tarzan. Here comes the ultimate coming through. Do you have the fancy feet, Tarzan? He will instead flash away and sidestep. Damn, that tree can move.
But every single one of these plays is predicated with the fact that Shanks is coming in with low resources. This time, only a third of his mana bar to boot. Knight has, I mean, he's playing a resources champion, right? He walks in, gets that Fate Unsealed, and gets a lot of summoner spells now. That's 2 flashes down for the side of AL. And most importantly, it's that Nico flash that I am looking at. Grub spawning in minutes time. I think BLG are in a really good spot to take those and look for multiple grubs. As in this replay, this starts off with just trying to buffer it, just uses his crash down, and he trades his life. I think because of the Yone ult actually pulls the Nico ult, so the second half of the knockup doesn't actually go through. Really intelligent stuff from Knight.
Yeah, and not only that, Hope was just on the edge of it. If I had my pointer, I would be slamming it on the screen right now, because I'm not sure if he was really on the edge of that. But the benefit of the doubt goes to BLG. They have about 1,000 gold lead. You mentioned these grubs in 20 seconds. Kyle is up here. No Pop Blossom, no Flash critically, although Wei may actually just be caught out here. Elk is nearby, trying to put a couple members to sleep, and he does, and they're looking for the turnaround right on top of Shanks. He sidesteps with a Flash, but the teleport coming in for Knight over on the side. Shanks realizes he's going to go down, and he will fall. Tarzan getting flashed on and stunned and getting mobbed by BLG, and the sleeping Giants have woken up here in Game 2.
Yeah, this is starting to get really, really hectic and in favor of BLG. They'll be able to hit these grubs at the same time while BLG are trying to overforce for this turret. I mean, AL, they just didn't have hope in the area, and also, again, getting punished for lack of resource management there. Flandra takes a lot of damage under this turret dive, but with the last rites, with the Maiden out, it is so difficult. Flandra, let's see it. That's 1.
Okay.
That's 2. Kyle's
my
here.
goodness.
3. And he's done.
Oh,
yep, there we go.
He's so good. 0 for 4, Elk. Ben Simmons gets to the bench. You got to hit at least one of them.
It's 4. It's 0 and 4 for the Jin ults, but 6 and 0 for those grubs right now, man. This is tough to play. We already said it was hard enough for AL to be able to match on a side lane. Flandra eventually will become a menace for BLG to be able to deal with, but until that happens, the rest of the map is winning and in pretty dominant fashion. I'm glad we're able to see BLG bounce back here in the second game.
Without a doubt. And, sure, Flandra will be big later, as you said, but BLG, if they take all this standing gold, all these turrets with their 6 grubs, it's not going to matter at that point. Dragon does get started up by anyone's legend. BLG is nearby. Knight will snap back. On just chilling out, but Wei doesn't look like he'll get close for this, so anyone's legend will secure their second dragon of the game. So an opportunity perhaps if they can win the third dragon fight to put a lot of pressure down, but that is 5 long minutes from now when you're staring down 6 grubs.
Yeah, at the very least, the Hextech Soul is going to be coming down around 22, 23 minutes, so they need to be able to survive during all of this time. Do not let this gold lead get any larger. And now with where we're seeing BLG, now this Lilia is going to, Lilia is going to continue to skyrocket in terms of how fast Wei is able to clear. Already a level up, so getting closer to level 11. You look at the solo lanes now, and Knight so proficient, so expert at just trying to make sure that he gets his breakpoints on time, knowing when and where he's able to grab resources to make sure that he is powerful in his own right. And now him and Wei just get to walk around the map, bully Tarzan out of his own jungle.
Yeah, the tree not able to get anything he wants, and when you go Leandries first, that means it's going to be a long way to get these tank items all, and this tree will just be chopped down every single time. Multiple members of BLG infesting this top side. They do see anyone's legend on this red buff, and they are looking to potentially make a play on it. The Swirl Seed didn't tag anybody except for the red buff, but they have moved all the way in. Fate sealed. Here we go. On's going to follow him too. Hope getting pulled in, though. He can't set his feet for an ultimate, and the health bars are so low, and multiple members are asleep. Down goes the tree. Hope at least able to get a kill out of it, but Flandra can't even join the fight himself, as the maiden is going to die. No, man, that's rude, man.
And Shanks doesn't have TP, so he just has to continue hitting this turret. There's no one from BLG that can match, but it doesn't matter. There's no grubs on the side of AL. Elk is going to get some free turret plates. Bin is here as well. This should be the first turret going over to BLG.
And this lead is going to get even wider, Alk, because right now it's at about 3,000 gold, but it's only going to get worse. You talked about how you can't let it get worse, and it's
Flandra,
getting worse
no!
As they found Flandra. I'm not sure how much he's going to be able to dodge here. He at least get some blocks from his buddy Kyle, but Flandra still getting run down by damn near everyone. Wei picks up another, and this game is cascading in a bad way. BLG on top.
They're going to keep going for this. I mean, maybe Hope gets this
mid-tier
one as well.
Oh,
Knight.
Okay, in the
Should be
2v1
out.
he
Okay.
will. All right.
They got
No
a second
flash.
turret there. Holy crap. Oh my god, that's so much gold here for BLG. I mean, 6 grubs, you cannot be losing fights like this as AL. It was incredibly punishing, even if they're able to trade for 1 turret. The fact that now this lane is incredibly long might prove problematic as the game goes, but for right now, they're happy with having a 4,000 gold injection into their economy. As we get to just take a look at this. Knight just perfect ultimates here, man. Like, not only gets this, but then he gets the connect back, so he doesn't even get like interrupted by the Nico ultimate. The Lilia ult just continues to apply damage to someone like Tarzan, and they just have complete control of whatever side of the map that they really want.
Yeah, they're continuing to exert that control through Bin right now, as he is starting to do a lot of damage to Flandra. Maybe he's just going to go and try to finish him off here. He slices. Waiting, he flashes forward, and he will be able to finish him off. A solo kill there, but Shanks with that teleport. Hope trying to come through as well. Bin, I don't think he's going to be able to find a way out of this one. He will fall.
Yeah. I'm looking at the item differential, man. Bin already has completed Black Cleaver. Flandra hasn't even... Okay, now he's done with the Trinity Force. That's going to help him a lot when it comes to that 1v1. But already 1,000 gold down. I mean, Wei individually is 2,000 here, so he is a large portion of this gold lead that BLG are holding on to. And now with 6 grubs, you always have to be playing on this side of the map. The fact that now Flandra TP's down, there's always going to be a numbers advantage here for BLG on the top side of the map. Herald plus Otacon plus 6 grubs is a death sentence for AL.
Yeah, it's easy pickings here for BLG, and now, with this Herald in their back pocket, plays like they made up top are just going to be that much more efficient. 16 and a half minutes into the game. A potential reprieve for anyone's legend. In 25 seconds, this dragon will spawn. It is their only lifeline in this game right now, Hulk.
I don't even know. The game is in
yeah.
big jeopardy. They're summoning the Herald. Let's go, BLG. This was the BLG that we wanted to see in this series, right? The one that was going to be able to fight you, the one where we got to actually see specifically Knight in particular really stand up. And so far in this game, the top side of AL has started to flounder. These are some of the games that have garnered a player like Tarzan internationally a lot of criticism.
Not his best game. He has not had any opportunities. It's BLG. Once they saw an inch, they took a mile. They took everything away from him. They're taking the dragon away from anyone's legend. At least Tarzan should be able to secure a blue buff here. But that is quite possibly the worst consolation prize you could get, as a turret in the bottom lane is going to fall. BLG looking to make another 4-man play on a tier 2 turret.
Yeah, Yanni, I'm going to be so serious.
Let's go home,
that
bro.
dragon got taken is kind of like a death knell for me.
Yeah, let's go home.
That one hurt. We don't have to go home. We still got a game after this if BLG win, right? Like, got to play at the best of 3.
Oh, you go home for this one, you know? This one's...
Yeah.
Oh, all right, hold on, wait. We're starting to see the side lane prowess. Okay, maybe we're not going to see the side lane prowess. So the Knight misses a knock-up. There's a bit of a sloppy fight. He's able to take Shanks to about half HP. The
They
question
can keep
is,
going. Lilia has the movement speed.
Yeah, it's starting to zoom around a little bit, but that cage, the Maiden also just kind of chilling out. The slows are there. Flandre with a good sidestep, but Shanks is just not fast enough, man, as he is the one man left behind.
Yeah, Q3, it's so difficult to play. It just feels like AL are trying to do patchwork around the map. They are trying to bandage so many different kind of like sinking ships everywhere here on the map, and it's difficult to play out. I mean, BLG are playing such an oppressive style where they can play on the side lane. Anytime they overload onto one side, you just never can fight. If you want to try to play for the opposite side of the map, you have to make it quick because they have 6 scrubs. And with Lilia being so ahead, it makes it incredibly difficult. And then she has a Yone in her back pocket. And then On is completely unleashed to just roam around this map and one-shot everybody or find the engage. This game doesn't get much more... it doesn't get easier for anyone's legend, and BLG have played this remarkably well in comparison to Game 1 and some of their other series.
Yeah, they woke up, right? And it all started with that fight in the jungle where AL were smelling themselves a little bit on, just chaining back-to-back really fantastic plays. Got BLG rolling, and they never stopped from there. Let's see if anyone's legend has anything to say about it, but I highly doubt it, Hulk. But they're still in this game. The game is not over despite the fact that it's not looking very good. We're not even 20 minutes into it. Maybe a miracle can happen.
I don't know, man. They're in the LDL. The young miracles are in LDL, okay? They are. Yeah, I don't know if this happened in this one game.
All right. Maybe. All right. So maybe Flandre.
Give it to
me.
me.
So I know he's been reading patch notes, but maybe there was a part in the patch notes that you and I missed. Maybe Yorick gets invisibility now, and they just forget about him. He's out of their sphere of vision, and he just is able to backdoor the game.
You know, I don't hold this opinion, but I'm sure a lot of the community will probably hold this opinion. That sounds like a worse idea than a lot of what Freak has put forward. Again, I don't agree with this sentiment, but I know a lot of the League community are not happy with him as League game design.
He's great. I think he's great.
Okay, again, I feel like you are really trying to get the community to dox you in some way.
That's fine. More than welcome.
You are inviting the Kassadin players to your house.
Pull up. Listen, I got carried by a Kassadin player the other day.
No! We are not... Okay, this was my fault. I shouldn't have taken us there. BLG, man, like they are not in a. I think it is so difficult to lose this game because we've seen how precise when this team is on to be able to start fights, to be able to create engagements. And part of the problem that we had coming in from draft was that while this Misfortune composition is really well set up with double marksman and having the Maokai plus Nico, this Yone gives them such an ability to reach into the backline and stop this Misfortune. You do also have this this Jhin to be able to do the same. So we had issues with it. The early game looked a little questionable, but I think now we're kind of getting into that spot where BLG just can very easily win every single fight, and AL kind of have to make miracles happen around numbers disadvantage.
Oh, it's going to be really hard. Let's see. All right. Kyle's going to sit right in front, and even Hope is going to take it too. What a good guy. As I think Kyle would have just honestly died at that point. Tarzan not going to be a factor in this fight. Flandre not a factor in the top side, as Knight has just been keeping him down. And I will take the 4-man unit of BLG over the 4-man unit of anyone's Legend in this particular game, because, man, it has been a little disgusting for anyone's Legend to try to deal with. 6 scrubs, I should say, as 4 men strong for BLG as they are looking to take down another Tier 2 turret. It's been a little bit hard to actually get this one, so we'll see if they're able to start a snappy engage.
Well, there's another dragon, so that's going to at least distract them for the time being. AL, if they want a chance in this game, I think maybe getting, your second item completed here on Tarzan is a way for you to be at least vaguely competitive. I am looking at how Flandre is going to be able to stay out on the map and get resources for himself. And for me personally, I do want to see AL funnel some gold into one of these carries. It can be Shanks if they really want it to be. I think Hope is a much better candidate in this instance, especially with what we've seen from him from games prior. If he can get this Infinity Edge in a reasonable amount of time, I think there is a spot where we get that perfect bullet time, and Hope and the rest of anyone's Legend can have a foothold back into this game. But even if they win a single team fight, I think it's incredibly difficult. Probably has to be around this Baron in 1.5 minutes time.
Yeah, win the fight, take the Baron, slingshot yourself back in, and yeah, you're right. It has to be Hope, because the burden of execution to win a fight so hard, if you give Shanks these resources, if you give Flandre these resources, is just too high. Whereas Hope, if he's lucky, BLG forgets about him for just a half a second and gives him enough time. But BLG, their minds are sharp this game. I can't imagine that'll happen, but we can hope. As BLG are in the top side of AL's jungle. Once again, they've been there all game long. They've been there since really the early goings. Fight over the red buff will go the way of BLG. And now let's see if we're going to have any chase down. Doesn't look like it.
Yeah, Bin's also looking for a potential teleport. If no one else shows on this wave, he can very easily stay. Has, again, those 6 grubs that make it very difficult. Slight win there for AL, right? The fact that they didn't have to overextend, no one died, there was no missing summoner spells. Flandre now completing a Spear of Shojin, so getting into that part of the game where he's a lot more HP, he's very annoying to deal with, and if he lands one of those prisons, then suddenly, the Dark Procession becomes very difficult and annoying to deal with. But BLG, I think, are looking to play around this Baron. This objective spawning means that with those grubs, they can very easily, if they win, find a big... Oh, they're actually just TPing on the Flandre. Maybe this is AL's angle.
And there's Hexgates coming through, too. They are going to try to kill Flandre and then continue a push from there. They will find Flandre, and the wave is coming in. We're seeing pings in the top side of the jungle. AL, though, are they going to respond toward this Baron? I don't think they can, but they're at least around it. They got the right idea.
It's too late. Yeah, it's too late at this point. Knight's going to be able to grab himself a turret here very, very easily. Good job from BLG to punish an overextension. Great ward as well from them. And now, I mean, you just have the Baron. You already kind of see them sitting on this side of the map.
Did he miss that Q?
I'm going to blame Z-Axis. I think
Yeah, again, we need to get the pointer out. And it's not even a skill shot. It's not a skill shot. It feels like a skill shot, but let's be honest, it's really not. Baron, up. We're in the Baron waiting room. Somebody's got to start it up on either side. Probably be BLG. No teleport, so probably see him hang around, float around the mid lane area for a little bit just in case BLG determined, yep, it's time to go. But they're playing it slow and steady.
He's also almost level 18. He is 2.5 levels. Or
big.
Level
oh, no, bro. Hope! Hope, run! Okay. Whew. It's a horror movie for guys like you and me.
But, I mean, the fact that they can just do that is so powerful there for BLG. Knight can always feign like he is going to be looking for backline access, so Hope not going to be able to step up all that far. Infinity Edge is done for him, so 3-item MF is on the table for anyone's Legend. He'll be able to rip them apart with a bullet time. I am just afraid that it is a little too late, that this game has gone too haywire. Bin is going to be coming in off of a flank. He can teleport if he really wants to. I think that BLG are a bit hesitant to start this up, recognizing that it will be up to a flip, so they want to try to make a pick, see if they can find someone on an off angle that is not ready from AL.
That someone was Flandre earlier, but you're going to need to find one of these members hovering around the Baron up top to actually kick that off. As you mentioned, Hope on that 3 items. Shanks also on 3 items. He'll be pretty powerful. We haven't really seen Kyle do that much on this champion. No really big pop blossoms. Keep that in mind. If he's able to hit one, catch BLG by surprise somehow, that'll be really, really big and could do something to help AL in the dire straits that they're in right now. You take a look at the gold graph. At least Shanks isn't that far behind Knight. He's got the second most in the game. You can feel good about that, I guess.
Okay. Bin, again, still has teleport. He can sit on the side lane. Wei is actually going to be going over to the Dragon. And remember, they have Voracious Otacon, Ruinous Otacon right now. So they have the additional bonuses. They get additional rewards from these Dragons. 3 Hextech Dragons, plus the added benefit of that Otacon. That means they're getting a ton of free stats here. And while AL are kind of all sitting around, making sure that this Baron doesn't get started, it's going to be a free objective from BLG, and they still are going to be able to win on the side lane.
Yeah, honestly, I think BLG is like totally fine to give it another couple more minutes after this Dragon goes down, right? I think they're probably content to say, like, you guys can have 5 more minutes. We don't really care. I don't think they should do that. I think that would be potentially a critical error, but it's an option now.
I'm so worried about this game because look at the gold lead is almost shrank in a lot of the roles here, but it is only Wei and Bin who have maintained their leads here. And now we're seeing BLG finally move forward.
Okay.
So Elkin on getting a little bit of poke damage, but Lily is now on the way, so AL are going to have to evacuate this topside jungle. They're literally just letting AL pick up items. Like, Shanks got an entire 3rd item while we were waiting. Same thing with Hope. Flandre is moving his way into like a Black Cleaver potentially here. This game has stalled out a meaningful amount.
AL have done well to bend but not break. Let's see if they're able to actually keep their form right now. Wei marks 2. He's going to drop the ultimate down on them. This could be problematic, but curtain call coming out, forcing the Tarzan ultimate out. But it looks like we won't see a continuation of the fight here, so just a couple of big ultimates burnt.
And for me, honestly, I will take that if I am BLG,
Yeah.
But you look at what was lost. Shanks, no flash anymore, and no ultimate here from Tarzan. This might be their go button now for the Baron. You already see some of those effects starting to come on through. I think that BLG have completely cordoned off this area of the map. Kyle's going to walk in, but by the time they get over to this objective, it's going to be gone.
All right. Bin is nearby. They're going to engage on Knight with a knock up there, and they're going to chop down Tarzan, and the Baron has been secured for BLG, and they're going to flash forward, look for Kyle, and find him too. A double kill for Bin.
They've got Baron. Yanni, this game has been over, but I think the ending has been delayed here.
Yeah,
Shanks
just
gets
a
tagged
bit.
by a watch out. Eep, the bowling ball does not all that much, and On's going to be looking for an engage underneath this turret, as BLG with 6 grubs and Baron are going to look to end the game.
Well, Shanks at least was able to QSS away, but there are too many grubs. Knight is bringing pressure down from the top side. He still has his fate sealed as the inhibitor turret in the mid lane, and the inhibitor will fall. They'll move it to the top lane as well. Take that one out too. Tarzan's up in 7 seconds, so anyone's Legend may have an opportunity for one final fight if BLG sticks around a little too much. The second inhibitor has fallen, but BLG will wisely walk it out.
Wow. Lot of poise here. Oh, Tarzan faking, going through the portal here. Okay, so finally we're going to take it. They're going to push them out of their base. It's going to be gold being spent here by BLG, however, and big items in particular. Knight saving his ultimate that entire time. It could have potentially ended the game if he found some answers, but 2 minutes before the Dragon, it'll be Hex Soul for BLG. So not only the Otacon, not only 4 Hex Tech Dragons, but a Soul on top of that. it's going to be so difficult to play. It already is very difficult. They're down 11,000 gold, and another play here onto Flandre from Knight with his teleport.
This is just mean. Why are we bullying the old man as he gets hit by a fate-sealed bullet time coming down, but it splits the gap between the two. Bin ate a face full of it, but he doesn't care, man. And over in the mid lane, Shanks has been engaged on. Tarzan gets chunked by Elk, and here comes Wei coming through. Shanks trying to do what he can, but On doesn't take enough damage. He ends up getting the kill, but it's a double kill for Elk. They're on the Nexus turrets, our Knight and Bin, as Hope is so low. Pop Blossom getting used, but Bin's just able to slice out, and the bullet gets curved on the backside. It took a while, but BLG were patient and poised, and in 32 minutes, they've knotted up the series at 1.
There it is. I don't know what's the saying. I'm looking forward to potentially making it through the ban phase yet again.
Yeah, I'd like to see a Hope Jinx game. Hope has historically been a very, very strong Jinx. So if the conditions are right, slam that pick, shock BLG and be like, oh man, we didn't have the Jinx on our bingo card. Maybe they probably should, but just in case, maybe snip them by surprise. Speaking of snip, a couple champions already cut. The Vi, the Gwen. Thankfully, we're not going to see any of them this series. As much as I really enjoy those champions, change is good.
They're just too free, man. They're just too free to allow. So getting into this now, back end of draft, are BLG going to stick with the Scion ban? Obviously a big, big champion for a player like Flandre, just being able to hold the laning phase, be really, really resilient. And there's no Kaisa anymore, so champions that would definitely be a little bit better with dealing with such a tank are... there are still a couple, but definitely going to be whittling away at those options.
So the Fury is still on the table for right now. Scion, obviously we still have one ban left. Now, Azir is going to go away.
Wow.
So Scion's available. The Fury's available. The Fury getting hovered already. I think if there's any time to do it, you just slam it. Why not? There it is.
Yeah, and so big takeaways from last game. Yone being taken away from Shanks. I'm kind of expecting from BLG to actually go for Rise here. This would be another one of the most playeds coming in from Shanks. I think it opens them up to a Galio potentially as a response, but being able to siphon champions from a player like Shanks, who has been very pivotal, might force him into some uncomfortable spots, and we still haven't seen Aurora pop into this series quite yet. So seems like instead BLG wanting to pick up that Kalista. I'm now expecting Kalista Renata as the answer.
Yeah, I really like this. These are going to be some very powerful picks. You're putting Elk, the guy who we thought was the best in the league, looking to prove it and keep Hope and Kyle in the dirt, and then you're giving Bin that Scion that he destroyed IG on. This is a very true test for AL coming into Game 3.
And I think one of the misconceptions about a player like Bin is that he is such a great tank player, or a great carry player, and kind of mid on the tanks, but that has not necessarily been the case. I think he's actually proved himself time and time again on some of these tanks, so going to be quite fascinating as AL going for a poke composition from the bottom lane. Ezreal Karma should be able to deal a lot of damage versus a Kalista and a Renata. And so now from AL, what I would love to see from them is pivoting away from something that's going to go for more dives, going to be more for engage, play the range, make sure that you can get out of the effective effective attack range of a champion like Kalista and this Renata, and suddenly you cut out a large portion of BLG's damage.
Yeah, I was thinking the Ornn would have been good for anyone's legend, and so did BLG, so they took that one off the table. Getting these champions out, these big engage, will be very pivotal. Gnar, I think, a champion that will probably see a ban in the second half here, as that would also be very good for anyone's legend. Anyone's legend, they're trying to determine what they want out to take out the Zyra this time around.
They're probably going to need an AP jungler, so I like the shout. Could mean that Wei might play a Nidalee game, but Nidalee is almost... Could be Brand, did get buffed, but I think champion players are just really off on the Brand champion. So
I think you're right.
I like the Galio ban though. Galio, especially paired up with Nefiri, can be a very potent combo. And with what BLG are showing, they definitely don't want to have to play into the range of such an impactful champion here. So back end of this draft, BLG will have first pick coming out of this. Probably going to be looking to take their jungle and let Knight have counter pick on 5. That's what I would really love to see.
Ooh, all right.
Oh,
so
the
they're
Rise takeaway that we
looking
noted earlier.
Yeah, they're looking into taking away that Rise, and I mean, now you have to think about what's available to kind of enable this Neferi in the mid lane. You know, we saw that Ahri is already gone. Syndra would work very well, get some nice CC, and also would help at keeping BLG at arm's length, staying out of Elk's auto attack range.
If he wanted to get underneath the Rise, he could go for an Akali, which is something that we've seen. The Victor is generically going to be strong, but is not going to necessarily provide a lot in the side lane here. And BLG are very short-ranged. It takes a long time for some of their damage to ramp up. They're going to have to deal with the absolute range of an Ezreal Karma, now a Victor. Flandre, just pick a tank, bro. Just lock in something.
Full tank.
Lock it up. Low-key, Set is really good here. I know we've already gotten a Set game from him earlier on. No way we're getting Sejuani top.
Yes.
Oh my god. Let's go, Flandre.
I'm so happy about this. I thought this champion, when it was being played top, and they were taking Ignite TP, was just insane. I really liked watching it. I thought it had a lot of kill pressure in lane, and obviously brought a lot to a team fight. So I like that they're throwing this down here on Anyone's Legend, getting creative. That is the key to their game. And over on the other side, BLG, they will lock in this Viego, another big power point to potentially accelerate way through the mid game and into the late game.
Guys, I was told that Fearless doesn't even really get started until best of 5s. What's going on here?
Who said that?
Best of
Who
3,
said that?
Game 3, where I'm watching Flandre Sejuani versus Bin Sion in 2025. Wei got the last pick of the draft with the Viego. He can be a very big carry in this game, but it's all about making it through the early game and getting your mid jungle on BLG to a 2-3 item power spike. As soon as they get these items in, Viego can really take over this game, and we need to see Elkanon perform in a series where they haven't really been able to kind of hit it off as a 2v2.
Absolutely right. We'll see how the bot lanes fare, and this mid-jungle duo I think is going to be incredibly important in this game. I'm not sure how I feel about Neferi Victor going up into Viego Rise and their ability to keep Viego out of this game. We don't see a engaged support coming in from either of these teams, so the help isn't really going to be there. I wonder if Wei is just going to be able to farm his way into the game, find a small opportunity in a skirmish, and run away.
And I will say, narratively speaking, this game is going to feel really cathartic if AL win for Shanks. Had a massive amount of priority in the draft when we look at the bans that were levied his way, and then even the Rise takeaway from a player like Knight. I think there's a large kind of eye on him, a magnifying glass for AL. Can they clutch up against BLG? And for BLG, are they going to be able to kind of navigate a draft that you already have? You kind of picked this Kalista early, but now you're losing with this 2v2. And now we're just getting an all-on 5-on-5. But Shanks is not here quite yet.
Yeah, and that's not the first time we've said that all series long. Shanks has had some problems linking up with the team. We're seeing a heal
like that?
get expended. Flandre is getting engaged on. Oh my god, they stunned 4 members.
What?
We're going to see somebody die. Bin's got to flash away. Keep going, guys. I want to see blood. Elk had rendered Tarzan to keep him away. We will see no kills, but these teams are more than happy to scrap.
We throw in a summoner spell from both of our supports. We get a flash from both of our top laners, and nobody dies.
Oh my goodness.
It's perfect. I love the tension here. Both teams playing for that 5v5. Some things to note. Elk trying to be real cheeky in this bottom lane brush, but minor advantage for Knight early on.
There we go. Here comes Knight.
Shooting this again. Knight's back.
They may have found Kyle. Although Elk is a little low, he's able to hop around, but he
Let's
goes
go,
down
Hope!
first. Hope gets first blood. Shanks is behind them too. Now it's a 2v2, but he does have the well. It's going to force the flash out of Knight. Is Hope going to be able to close out the kill? And he will not land the Q. On does a great job of blocking it, but a good start for Anyone's Legend.
Well, now Knight is going to have to walk back to lane. No flash, no teleport. If Shanks ever finds a little bit of push in this lane, if he's ever able to get some chip damage down onto this Rise, then it is very, very easy for Tarzan to come on through with this Neferi and get some work done here. Again, I was saying before, you are playing Victor early on, and you start at W. So this is going to be a bit tough, at least for the first 2 levels.
Well, I'm sure Shanks will be A-okay. One other thing to note, Tarzan not going with the popular Smite Ignite. We'll be keeping Flash in the back pocket. Think that's going to be very useful to get out of some of these key abilities. Think the Rune Prison, think the Hostile Takeover, and even flashing a Heartbreaker out of Viego.
This is such a tough bot lane matchup. I think they just want to try to go for the dive immediately. It's 3 camps here from Tarzan. Tarzan has been one of our best clearing and farming pathing junglers, but here now, he's just making sure that Wei is nowhere near this bottom lane.
This is a big turnaround. Hold on. Oh, Kyle gets rended, taken so low. But Hope is doing so much right now. Tarzan is here. He's going to flash over the wall on top of On. Finds the kill. Goes untargetable and is able to get out like a smooth criminal.
Wow. The fact that we have untargetable while under the turret, didn't we literally like try to cut a Kali out of the game for this?
Yeah.
Why is this still here?
All right. Yeah. This is... I can't respect Tarzan after that. No, I can respect.
All right. Well, now here's the mid lane
play. That
was
a super sick play. Here we go, trying to go coast to coast, and Knight is in trouble. Remember, he's got no flash. The dogs are after him. They're running him down. Mailman Rise able to walk away.
Wow, the phase rush there from Knight. That proc is so important for him there, being able to get him out of dodge. Oh my god. It's been almost 2 years since we got Cube still in the league.
Yeah, my goat Cube. Corky top player.
Rare item not. But Tarzan got to do 3 camps, go bottom lane, gets himself a kill, and then just continue this domination, even gets his topside camp. So feeling pretty good about this. This will mean now, though, BLG do get to kind of cut the map in half if they really wanted to. But, oh wow. He wants to protect his Raptors.
Uh-oh. This is bad news. The Goon Squad has showed up. Shanks immediately has to flash out. He's not going to stun anybody up. I don't know if he's going to be able to survive this. It looks like he will. Kyle and Hope are coming through the heal just to speed up Kyle to try to get the root on, and they will find On, and he will bleed out in the mid lane.
And now they get to help him push out this wave. I mean, Shanks doing fine for himself. He said, look, they don't have enough damage to kill me. The bottom lane here doing so much work. Anyone's Legend coming to play very early on in this matchup, and BLG just cannot match up to them. They don't have the damage to be able to get away with plays like this.
Dragon in 10 seconds, and Ulk, what a departure. For remember the first game of this series, 2 kills to 2 until like 20 minutes, as they continue to pick on Knight, as the bottom lane of Anyone's Legend are exerting so much pressure everywhere. Knight will be able to at least walk away and survive, but now Anyone's Legend, whatever objective they want, should be theirs.
Okay, this is such an amazing game. I'm glad this is going at breakneck pace for both of these teams. It is only, the first time around for them. It's going to be a double round robin again, but, man.
I already can't wait for the next one.
Yeah, exactly. Tarzan has a small lead over his opponent. Hope and Kyle are doing really well in the 2v2. Not only have they been able to, really bag on so far this game, but even Wei getting involved early on.
Using heal as an aggressive summoner spell is like one of my favorite things to see, because you're just so damn confident that you're going to be able to make a play off. It's a huge risk for a really nice reward, and both of these teams have properly executed on that, and it's been nice to see. Chemtech Drake started up here by BLG, as it looks like they will snap that one up. The Grubs are available on the top side, but Anyone's Legend not really too interested in them right now.
Okay. They're going to go ahead and start this one up. Shanks has to be very careful. You have no flash, you have no teleport, you know they're on the bottom side of the map. On trying to make some flanks, get some really deep vision on the red side here. And now that they know all of his camps are gone, if they get any confirmation, yeah, Shanks, you're just dead now.
All right, let's see if he can clear this wave quickly enough. The turret trying to at least help him out here. BLG doing the whole Twitch tours around the map here. Teleport coming in for Bin as well. They really want to kill Shanks. He is stranded on an island all alone, and the island is filled with many members of BLG. He gets knocked up, and he falls.
Okay, does get a large majority of that wave, and Kyle did show bottom lane, but Flandra had already invested to teleport to the top side of the map, so this is going to be a trade. Tarzan will be able to steal some camps, so individually this is a lot better for BLG's laners, but for AL, getting Tarzan ahead of the map is very, very good, especially with where this Neferi is.
Teleport going to be used in the top lane. Perhaps anyone's Legend are going to go for a play because the True Shot Barrage is coming through, but the timing was not there. They're going to start the engage on the Knight. Tarzan is only level 5. He'll go untargetable, and they just burst him out. Oh my goodness.
Yep. Really fun stuff here. Now Tarzan has the level 6 on and way in the area, but this is 3 plates here for Flandra and Tarzan. A lot of gold going over after that. So the kill as well on tonight, got to be feeling good about this.
Hang on. You see what's in Flandra's inventory right now?
He's going for Rod of Ages.
He's going for Rod of Ages. This dude is.
It makes sense.
So sick. Yeah.
Like, passive from Sejuani gives you innate armor, magic resist. You get the HP and the mana, which are definitely stats you love. AP on Sejuani is not all that bad. Okay, we're getting Rod of Ages, Sejuani top.
This series has
going
delivered.
On?
We are 8 minutes into the third game, and this series has delivered, my friend. Oh my god. I do not want this to end, and luckily we will have a lot of time to enjoy this at the very least. 2.5 minutes until the next dragon, 2 minutes and 15 seconds until the next grubs, and we've seen nothing but action in between. I wonder if we're going to start to see more.
I really like the position that AL are in. I don't personally enjoy the fact that I'm seeing Shanks have to stand up against the Scion. I think Scion could very easily go for a tower dive. Wei is on his way down here, but you look at what's happening. Ezreal is incredibly strong at this point. Karma is going to very much be very annoying, and Tarzan is just trying to power clear at this point to make sure that he gets his first item. As soon as he hits Eclipse, he is in such a good position.
He'll be off to the races as Rod of Ages completed sub 9 minutes up in the top lane for Flandra. That was the power of getting a couple of those plates up there. I think he got 3 plates, if my eyes do not deceive me. And meanwhile, on the bottom side, Shanks is being bullied once again. Does get the stun off onto Wei, and Wei's in turret range, and he dies. It's a 1-for-1 in the reset. Tarzan, maybe he has the damage to kill Ben at this point. It's going to be tough. He does have
flash.
A little bit in the inventory. You mentioned he's got the flash, but the shield from Ben enough to keep him upright, but a good 1-for-1 trade.
Yeah, and now they'll be able to recall a lot of really good summoner spells now. Oh, Knight, you've got to be careful. This is Rod of Ages. Sejuani, you just don't know how to play this.
He's doing damage, baby.
You got no damage.
Flandra tried to kill him. The Realm Warp, oh, it lived on a sliver.
Oh, there's no Ezreal ult, but hey, more turret plates, another one going over to Flandra, and now they can play around this top side of the map. They're not going to have Sejuani ult, so I wonder if that kind of makes a difference in play, if they'll potentially go towards the bottom side of the map and play a little bit differently here. They are going towards the mid lane. This game is going really, really fast between these two teams, and recognizing that for BLG, they need to make plays happen. They need to make sure that their Viego's in a good spot, and that this Ra is able to hit his item spikes at correct timers.
Both of these AD carries, you saw them dueling for a little bit at level 7. A lot of power in both of them. Ezreal Sheen, of course, known as one of his mini power spikes. As you can see, Flandra, I can't read the stats, but you know what they tell me? He's doing good stuff up there. He's doing good work.
Okay. All right. We got a little bit of time here. Grubs have been spawned, and you already see that Elk and On are walking. They're at least recalling for the time being. Sejuani and Tarzan are up on this map, on this side of the map, so you can see that AL are kind of reacting to what's been happening in this game. Shanks has been dove so many times. There have been many attempts to be able to kind of put this victor behind, and so Kyle over here to reinforce the mid lane of AL.
Ward getting dropped on the grubs, but Wei is nowhere to be found. He's on the bottom side, and with this dragon up, you see the pings on it. AL knows that they're going to be headed there. Couple things to keep note. Both mid laners. Rod of Ages is so in vogue right now, obviously.
Ooh.
Whoever completes that one first will have a large gap later on to take advantage of.
I love what they did here. Instead of going for all 6 grubs, instead AL, we saw Tarzan, he took a single grubs, putting them at 4. The bottom lane had already gotten priority, so they move into the bottom side river. Now they've connected Shanks here, and they've rotated him in. AL do not want to give them this dragon. They want to make them fight for it. They want to at least force out a teleport from either one of these top laners. And if BLG are able to grab this turret, or if they're able to grab this dragon, they could look for soul stacking as their way into this game to fight back versus AL.
Yeah, this is a snazzy move by AL to try to keep that stack apart. At least BLG is going to need to try to find another way to get this dragon. So we continue to just see the bot lanes hang out mid. Every little pot shot you can get on these turrets can go a long way. A lot of pings coming down here as Wei really interested in starting up this dragon. Teleport's going to be coming in from Bin. Flandra is bringing up the rear, and the mid laners are coming from the bottom side. Shanks will group with his team. Tarzan goes over the wall for right now. He's got to deal with Knight. Meanwhile, the hostile takeover comes through, but it doesn't land on Hope. Here comes the Ezreal. It only hits Bin for a little bit. Dragon's getting low. 1,000. It's stolen away. Stolen away by Tarzan. But Bin's in the middle of the fight, and Flandra's going to be the focus. Who's getting low? Everyone's getting low. Look at the backside.
Tarzan
looking to kill Bin. He's getting the resets. He's on Wei next, and he forces the flash out. Elkinon solo on the other side, and Bin is able to trade back onto Flandra. A 1-for-1 overall, but AL get the prize.
And they steal it. Oh my god, Hope, he just blinked forward.
My goodness.
He arcane shifts forward to try to milk any last kill that he can get in this fight. And this should just be AL now, grabbing themselves the rest of these grubs. Wei is going to have to just watch. He has a bunch of his jungle camps that he still has to be able to grab. Really, really smart job here from Anyone's Legend, just to try to choke out any advantage that BLG would want here in the fight.
We talk about how well coached they are. Tarzan, the soul of this team, carrying the ideas of Coach Tabe into the game. Take a look at this replay. I thought it was going to be worrisome at first with Tarzan stuck with Knight.
Yeah, but Tarzan says, look, I'm the jungler, dude. I do not care. I'm playing Nefiri. I'm going to just jump straight into the backline, wins the smite fight versus Wei, which, again, another mistake, something, a bit of criticism we're going to be levying towards BLG. And while Elk is literally just trying to auto-attack for his life to save this fight, the rest of his damage dealers are just not quite in position. Knight is in nowhere of a spot to really be able to let loose on the spell fluxes. And I mean, we're just not buying space. Bin is sitting there, like, waiting for Wei to eventually step forward, but it's just not enough. BLG lose the dragon, now lose out on more of these grubs. It's 6 grubs for Anyone's Legend, and the items are going to be complete. I mean, 4 minutes time, Sejuani is going to be done with Rod of Ages.
It is going to be Omega, and then a couple minutes after that, Shanks is going to be done with his. They're going to be done before night is. They're going to be done before night is. That's something to keep an eye on for now.
Yeah.
Herald going to be up in 1 minute and 20 seconds. And Anyone's Legend, a 1.2 thousand gold lead, but so close to making it more.
I'm just flashbanged right now, man. It's 6:30 a.m. local time, and I just had to mentally process the idea that Sejuani will finish Rod of Ages before Rise.
All I know is that whenever I get autofill top lane, I can pick Sejuani and not feel bad.
Nice, and you're just ruining games. Cool, man. Nice. Very cool.
Yeah, he's just like me for real, you know?
All right.
We're seeing Shanks once again have to deal with Bin. I think he's doing
damage.
No
damage. He does no damage. Undying Despair. Yeah, man. Just walk up, spam 3 spell combos on this guy, deal 0 damage. Very cool. It's going to take a while for Shanks. He's probably going to have to still finish his Leandries and still potentially even look at getting something like an Abyssal, or not an Abyssal Mask, but the Bloodletter's Curse or any kind of damage. Either way, what we're seeing from Anyone's Legend.
He hurts.
Oh.
He hurts real bad. I wonder if Flandra's going to...
Oh, my God.
I thought he was maybe going to...
There's so much skirmishing on the top side of the map. Oh, wait a minute. Elk?
Whoa.
What are we doing here?
That's a big cooldown. Like, that
right
is
before
big.
the Herald, too. Oh, my God. Guys, it is regular season. There's no way we're choking this. Ain't no way. Ain't no way, guys. What's going on?
It looks like they might be, but hey, it's their own damn fault, Elk. They went and they decided, hey, we want to fight early, and it has not gone their way at times. Herald's going to reset here, but it looks like Anyone's Legend. They're going to move up toward it to try to complete it as Shelly face plants into the wall. Wei is up, and he is looking to make a play onto Shanks, but everybody else is here.
Yeah, I think this is so tough. They're just going to have to continue, and I feel the frustration from BLG at this point because they really wanted this bot lane to get off to a good start. We're getting teleports now. I mean, Ryze is teleporting away from this play. Sejuani is teleporting in. It is so hard for BLG to already get mid-prio. So this is going to be in the short term gold here for BLG's mid laner, but with Herald and 6 Grubs, I think the map is so much better. And after this play, if they really want to, they can even move into topside and secure Shanks this turret. So in the long term, AL come out champions here.
Okay, here we go. Shanks is not nearby. Flandra taken to half. The turret is low. It is still upright for right now. It looks like it might burn. No, it will stay up.
Wow.
It is an auto away, but during this time, Shanks was able to take the turret topside. Knight is going to trade with one of his own in the bottom lane.
Okay, but that's still 2 for 1, and a lot of gold here for anyone's legend. So, got to be feeling good about their state here in this game. Dragon is spawning, but it is going to be BLG's. Don't think they're going to be able to get here in time even to chase them out, and Tarzan is getting closer and closer to level 11 here. Gets second point in his ultimate. Very big shift for the side of AL.
Oh, the dogs are in there, maybe. Okay,
Oh
Wei
my God.
does secure that one, but given the earlier state of the game,
There was a
we were
thank you
little
Wei
worried.
post that was going to be coming out if he stole that one.
Oh, Tarzan ended up on the wrong side of the wall. He's going to be all right as Shanks is going to chase him down along with Kyle. Ezreal coming through. It's only going to hit on as they're just looking for more damage. And anyone's legend, yeah, they gave up the dragon, but because they broke the stacking earlier, it's still a positive play for them. They're just inside BLG's jungle.
Yes, and now they get another turret, so more gold so that Shanks can finish his Leandries, so that Tarzan can get his second item. Even this Ezreal, already almost complete with the Muramana, just needs to merely finish the item. BLG are going to continue to feel this game squeezing down on them, constricting around such low range into a team that thrives in this chaos. You have to try to beat the range of an Ezreal an Ezreal and Karma. You have to beat the range of a Victor who eventually, once he gets all his upgrades, which I'm just going to assume he has them already or is very close to finishing them, he's going to have slows on all of his abilities, which is almost a damnation for a champion like Kalista or a champion like Ryze, right? So this does not get easier for BLG.
Yeah, it's going to be so hard. It's looking like, I mean, it feels like to me the only champion that is going to be able to really contend with this, it's going to have to be Bin on Sion getting creative flanks with his ultimate in order to disrupt what AL are doing, and then maybe that gives an opening for Wei, for Knight, for Elk.
Okay. Second item's completed, though. Flandra now completing the Undying Despair. You've got completed Rod of Ages for the century.
Let's go!
And then Leandri's done now. A lot of two-item power spikes coming in for the side of AL.
On just flashed. He's going to be all right, but that is a big cooldown down. And they will trade ultimates.
That's the McHale's as well.
Will save him.
What are we doing? BLG!
Yeah, I don't know what I'm witnessing here, Elk. It is not the BLG we saw in Game 2.
Unflashed, used his McHale's, and we got the Fates call. What is going on? I honestly, AL should just rip an Otacon right now.
Yeah,
like
that's what I'm
now
thinking.
know that On cannot walk into spaces without getting immediately blown up. I think the worry is that they don't want to give up their mid-tier one, but they're already starting this objective. Let Flandra just kind of lead them around, breadcrumb them in this jungle.
All right, Otacon down to about 7,000 HP, but BLG has gotten into the river. Wei is coming. Elk is too. Here comes the hostile takeover. It's going to catch multiple members here as they've gotten real low.
He steals
and
it!
It's smited away. But where's the re-engage coming? Knight is shoved off, and the Ezreal coming through. Get a lot of damage in, but the flowers, AL can still pick them up. Bin's got to flash out of there. Elk trying to do what he can, but he can only play up so close because he's getting chased down. Flandra with a big slow. Bin on the side. His shields, are they enough? Knight will fall. Flandra is doing so much, buying so much room for the rest of anyone's legend as the corpses of BLG will fall.
The Otacon may have gone their way, but what was the price as AL win the fight? Now with 6 Grubs, how many turrets can we see them take? How much of this map can they completely raise in terms of gold now. They're going to shoot so far ahead. And we still got a dragon spawning in a minute. We've got the Baron spawning in 3.5. They have got to be feeling so... And there's still Blood Roses!
There.
Oh my god, AL. They're going to shoot so far in the advantage.
Goodness me, this is going to get ugly, isn't it all? Take a look at this replay. This hostile takeover ended up being really, really good.
Yeah, it puts them in range of the Otacon, so there's a lot of damage going their way, especially now that they have to deal with the fact that the Otacon does get stolen. It's a great attempt there, but I mean, the fronts are just way too divided here. Bin is really far forward. You're playing this Kalista. You do not have the range to be able to match alongside these AD carries. And now it just feels like they're eventually getting trickled. And no one can kill Flandre at this point. He is way too damn tanky. And it kind of wastes all of BLG's time.
BLG may be running out of time. 22 minutes and 30 seconds into the game. Next Dragon up in 20 seconds. Honestly, I don't even know if this Dragon would be able to pull them back in the game. We're going to try to see them make a play on the Shanks here. Bin goes all the way in, and a fight's going to break out as a member's been caught. Kyle goes down. Good pick here for BLG. And here comes the hostile takeover. Tarzan and the dogs going to bite Hope on the backside just a little bit, but he's okay.
They get control of the Dragon, though. They will be numbers down, but very important ultimates are no longer available here for BLG. On the opposite side, Nefiri getting very close to having that ultimate. And Flandre, if he ever really wants to engage, can just let it rip. So BLG have to be very careful, have to make sure that their front line is doing enough. There is no arcane shift for the time being for Hope here, so it's going to be AL slowly trickling into this river and trying to find an angle.
It's a 5v4, but they don't do any damage to Flandre. Now they're going to target Bin, but he gets the Mikhails and a big shield, so he's all right. Dragon getting lower. 3,000, 2,000, 1,000 taken away as Way and the rest of the squad are out of there. Well played by BLG.
Okay, and that's soul point now for BLG. AL going to try to track through this jungle, try to look to play on the bottom side of the map, maybe even get some damage down onto this turret. Creative use of the ultimate there from Knight. Great job of being able to get his team out of that situation. And does mean that the 5-man of AL are back and on the map.
And there's big cooldowns for BLG, right? That Realm Warp being down, Bin just getting his ultimate. But support and AD carry down their ultimates. So the siege is on. The question is, how long can the waves actually live?
Now we're getting to that point in the game where, yes, BLG have hit their 2-item power spikes. Seraph's Angels, Seraphs, as well as the Rod of Ages are completed for Knight. But then I'm looking on the other side. Shank's getting close to a 3rd item.
Here we go.
Scion ult coming down.
All right, is he going to hit anybody? Not quite, but Hope is going to have to arcane shift over the wall. Now Bin's going to be poked out by this Ezreal. Everybody's all right, so Bin not finding the mark with his last 2, as this turret is still low on HP.
And they're losing out on mid, so they're just going to give this up. They know that at this point, might as well just kind of cut your losses. Try to at least play like we're going to contest mid-wave because, hey, Baron spawning in 10 seconds here.
Anyone's legend. I love the aggressiveness. Never gave up on that play. And did not allow BLG and Angle to find a way in. And as you mentioned, Baron now on the map. And you have to wonder if you're BLG, what are you going to do to make sure anyone's legend does not take this objective by any means necessary?
It's going to hope that you can try to get a little bit more gold onto this Kalista, maybe with 3 items, maybe with Knight being able to do the same. There's an angle. It has to come off of resets here from Way, and something that we noted earlier was the experience differential that's going to be coming through. Flandre has ticked over to level 16. Shanks has now gotten level 16 on this Victor, has almost 3 items. This game does not get any easier for them to play, and I mean, I'll be real, like, you walk into Fog of War, you walk into a set up anyone's legend into one part of the map, and you are just asking for a world of hurt. I think the only way this game gets any more difficult is Tarzan finds a way to get level 16 in the time being.
Well, I'm sure he'll be there soon. He's on 3 items. You can see a lot of magic resistance in the inventories of BLG, but as you mentioned, with Shanks having his items, he's got quite a bit of penetration too. He's going to hurt no matter what. Eventually, these lasers will whittle down Bin and Knight, and it will chunk out someone like Way. 2 minutes until the next dragon is up, so BLG, if they have determined that Cloud Soul is their lifeline. That's their opportunity.
Control of mid-wave is going to be the name of the game here for either team if they want access. There's a 2-minute timer here on the Dragon Soul potentially spawning. A lot of damage onto On means that BLG do have to give up this area of the map. Pings are coming out. They're going to try and clear a lot of vision here on the side of AL and potentially try to set up something on the side lane. I think the fact that right now Knight is trying to be really cheeky with, since he does have the Realm Warp, if they can ever sneak into this brush, if they can ever find someone who extends just a little too far, they can open up a numbers advantage and potentially start to snowball back into this game.
It's going to be tough. They did find it on Kyle that one time, but ever since then, he's been pretty close to the vest with the rest of his team. Shanks, there were a couple of opportunities, but you can see Flandra is hanging out with him, making sure that if they're going to go for Shanks, they're going to run into a rude awakening. Way going to recall here. He's 2 levels down, man. This Viego, 3, 2, and 1. He's got 2 items, but has not made the impact you'd expect to see.
Still have a couple team fights. If they find one where they're able to get those resets, then maybe that's the point. And remember, this was an R5 for Way. This was the last pick of the draft, so a lot of resources going over to this player. And kind of the only change coming in from 2024. Obviously, half of the year spent with Shun. Shun eventually playing in Worlds, but ended up being the permanent decision here, at least for the start of 2025. And a lot of criticism has come his way so far in this year. So needs to be able to kind of clutch up. This is the kind of game where you are looking towards these players to show that experience, show that level of gameplay, and bring your team to the finish line in what has been a very rough game.
Who's going to show off their clutch, Gene-Alk Battery? We'll find out. This Dragon is up, and Elk is half HP. Hope has been laying the hits down on him, and it looks like BLG will have to wait for their potential Cloud Soul.
The Dragon going over, and yeah. I wonder if they just try to go for the Baron. You have the Rise ultimate. You already see it. They're going for it. They're going to Rise ult into the pit and try to take this Baron. Good call from BLG.
Bin pops his ult. Bin pops his ult, trying to disrupt them in the mid lane, too. It's going to at least keep Hope at bay. The teleport's coming through. 5,000
Tarzan's here,
HP
though.
on the Baron. Here comes Shanks, trying to get on priority targets. They're stuck in the back of the pit. They're stuck in the back of the pit. Way is trying to dance around.
He gets
and he
it!
secures the Baron for his team. But here comes Tarzan, beating his chest. This is his jungle. A triple kill for Tarzan as BLG fall apart.
And it has just been alive, but he has Baron minions. He has 5,000 HP. Can Sion, can Bin save BLG here in this game number 3?
The Baron for Nexus trade. Oak Battery, we've seen Bin do a lot in his career, but I think this is even too much for him. Let's see what he can do. They're mobbing on top of him. They're disrupting him. They're stunning him. It doesn't matter. They've got grubs. They've got the touch of the void. They've got the victory against BLG.